Hi there, it's Kelly from Skillets and Glitter Glue, and today we're making iced coffee. So what I have here is I have 4 cups of water, I have whole coffee beans, and my handy dandy coffee grinder. When you're shopping for beans to make iced coffee, you want to look for something that's at least a medium roast, if not a dark roast. I had a hard time at my grocery store finding a dark roast that I liked because I'm a coffee snob. When you work 5 years at a coffee shop, you'll learn how to be a little bit of a snob about coffee. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my whole bean coffee, I'm going to toss it into my grinder, and you want to grind it on a coarse setting, like you were doing a French press. Now I'm just eyeballing it here. I've made this quite a few times. This is my answer to summer and being caffeinated. So I'm going to go ahead and set the grinder. Now, I pre-measured my grinding cap, and I know that this is half a cup. The way you can do that, you can use water. Because I wanted to keep this dry because it goes to my grinder, I just used actually popcorn. You could use rice, whatever. Popcorn was just the first thing I saw on my shelf. Now I do want a cup, so I am going to go ahead and grind it again. It is a lot of coffee, but this is what it takes to make the cold brew nice and strong so that they can handle all your, cream and simple syrup or whatever you're going to add to your coffee. Now I'm going to take mine a little bit finer just because that's just how this machine is working for me right now, but just a little bit. So again, it's a very, very coarse ground, and that's, again, what you need for this particular application. Now, I pre-measured the water into this bowl to make my life easier. Obviously, the solid coffee would displace water, and I want to get the correct amount of water without dirtying another dish because I really don't want to wash another dish. So, simple enough so far. All I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put a lid on this. Because I live in an air-conditioned house, I set this on the counter. You want to set it for about 12 hours, so basically overnight. If you have a very hot house or something, you can just put this in the fridge. And then what we're going to do later after 12 hours, so basically tomorrow, I'm going to go ahead and strain this, and then we can start drinking. Another tip is if you're trying to watch your caffeine, which a lot of times I will do, is I'll make this decaf. So I don't feel guilty and I don't have to stay up all night. And then if my toddler takes a sip, I don't feel so guilty about it. So we'll check in with the process in 12 hours and see what we get from there. Now here's our cold press after it's been sitting overnight. In honesty, it's been more like 24 hours, but life happens. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to strain this cold press through my sieve. You can go as crazy as you'd like. You can line this with a coffee filter, a cheesecloth. I, err on simplicity. The only reason I'm doing it in this picture is because it makes my life easier to put it in the pretty picture, because everything tastes better when it's, pretty. So I'm just going to go ahead and start pouring. Now you may be asking me, why cold press? Can I just brew coffee and put it on ice? Sure, go for it. But by using cold press, it's not as acidic, and it's just kind of a little bit more delightful to have this ready and cold and not as diluted. Now I could strain this out like crazy. I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna compost this actually, or feed my roses. So now I've got that. I'm just going to go ahead and put this in my pitcher. Normally I don't do things so complicated, but you know, for you guys I will. I'm going to get this out of our way. Now, we can go as simple as you want. You can just have your coffee on ice. If you want to have a little bit more fun, this is our simple syrup that we did before we made our coffee. I'm just going to pour a little bit of this vanilla simple syrup in, okay, or a lot. Pour some coffee. And this is just half and half. And just stir. And that's 10 times better than what you'd ever find at a coffee shop. Now, if you want to have a little bit more fun, add some rum chata or some Baileys, whatever you prefer. I'm going with rum chata because that's how I'm feeling today. What I'm doing is I'm just pouring this in a glass because I couldn't find a cocktail shaker. Normally don't make a lot of cocktails at home just because, you know, I don't. So little rum chata, little coffee. Actually, I think we just don't have a lot of storage for a lot of extra utensils. So I'm just going to do it this way. I just mixed it over ice. That way I'm not diluting it down. And there's a fancy cocktail you can serve, well, anytime. Book club, your friends come over, or just because it's another day. Okay, I might be having another one of those. I hope you enjoy, and I hope you try this out soon. Thanks for watching.